Hello and welcome to this episode of Financially Speaking, conversations powered by IndiaFirst Life. I am your host, Ninad, for today's podcast. The main reason behind opting for a life insurance policy is to provide cover for one's family in case of unfortunate death. However, there may be other unforeseen events such as disability, huge hospital bills that can affect earning capacity, lifestyle, and ability to pay for the premiums. Therefore, merely buying a life insurance policy may not cover for the several other uncertainties. And here, life insurance riders come handy in these situations. And to get proper understanding, I have reached out to Mrs. Bhavna Verma. Bhavna is appointed actuary at IndiaFirst Life Insurance. She has rich corporate experience of more than 17 years. Welcome, Bhavna.
Thank you, Ninad. The purpose of insurance, as we all know, is to protect against adverse events, and death is one such inevitable event. However, other adversities or mishaps can also take place despite us exercising caution at all times. Therefore, it is always helpful to shield ourselves and our families against such incidents by enhancing the safety net offered by life insurance products.
Let's get started. So, what is a rider in life insurance policy?
A rider is an additional optional benefit that can be attached to the base policy of the policyholder. When attached to the plan, riders play a part if a specific event occurs and they provide a financial cover over and above the basic sum assured of the policy. Riders can usually be chosen for any life insurance plan, either at policy inception, or some companies also offer the option of attaching riders on subsequent policy anniversaries if the need becomes apparent to you at that point.
Okay. And then, what are the most commonly available riders?
There are four common riders offered by life insurers in India: the accidental death benefit rider and the permanent disability benefit rider. These are non medically underwritten riders. Besides these, the critical illness rider is gaining popularity these days. And there is also a waiver of premium rider, something that I deem very, very important, and I'll talk more about it. Accidental death and permanent disability riders are generally combined as it provides much better safety overall.
Okay, great. So, let's try to understand each one of them as you mentioned. I think you mentioned around four riders, which are pretty much common. So, can you please help me by elaborating each one of them? So, let's start maybe with the accidental death and permanent disability benefit rider.
Sure. So I'll talk about both of these riders together. An accidental death rider provides additional coverage only in the event that the policyholder dies as a result of an accident.
Okay.
This rider will provide a lump sum payment to the policyholder's beneficiaries in addition to the base death benefit of the life insurance policy. In case the policyholder is rendered partially or permanently disabled from an accident and is unable to work, resulting in a loss of income,
Okay.
the disability rider can provide a regular income to the policyholder in the event of a covered disability and can also cover the cost of medical treatment and rehabilitation.
Oh, okay.
So, the idea behind these riders is that along with the emotional trauma, accidental death or disability, both can severely disrupt the family's finances due to a sudden loss of income. Because accident would be a sudden event,
Yeah.
as compared to a natural death or a death due to deteriorating health. So, in such troubled times, having an accidental death and disability benefit rider in one's life insurance plan saves the family from a sudden financial crunch. And these riders typically do not require medical underwriting since they are event based and not
Okay.
age based.
Okay. So, for these like unexpected events in the life. Okay. And then you also mentioned about the critical illness rider. What exactly is it?
So these days we hear a lot about the rising incidence of critical illnesses, especially in the metropolitan cities, etc. Critical ailments like cancer, heart attack, and cardiovascular problems are becoming very common.
Right.
Even illnesses such as organ transplant, stroke, kidney failure, and other such grave health conditions are usually becoming more common, and they typically require very expensive treatments.
So true.
So a critical illness rider is again a very valuable addition to your life insurance policy, where if the policyholder is diagnosed with a specified critical illness, uh, there is a certain fixed amount that is paid out to the policyholder, which provides some relief from the high medical bills that are typically expected to be incurred, and to ensure that the policyholder gets a proper line of treatment.
Okay.
The payout, which is usually of a lump sum nature, uh, it just helps the family maintain the financial stability and to make sure the insured is getting the right treatment. Some insurance providers also offer some variations of this rider by offering some hospitalization care and surgical care benefits built into the benefits.
Okay. Okay.
One should certainly opt for such riders if they have a known history of critical illness in the family. Even otherwise, like I said, incidence of certain illnesses, particularly cancer and cardiovascular diseases, is on the rise due to our changing lifestyles and at much younger ages. So, covering for these unanticipated medical costs must form a necessary part of your protection planning to avoid excessive burden on the family.
Point that you correctly mentioned, that in the current scenario, there are so many cases that are happening all around. I think critical illness rider is pretty much apt for everybody. And then, as you mentioned earlier, that waiver of premium rider, what exactly is it and why is it important?
A waiver of premium rider is usually an inbuilt rider in life insurance products. It could even be a standalone, where there is an option that if the policyholder, due to temporary or permanent disability or when diagnosed with an illness, is for some reason unable to pay future premiums on the contract, those future premiums are waived off.
Okay. Okay.
So what happens is the future premiums get waived off, and the life cover continues in the meanwhile to keep the family safe against any other potential hardships. The biggest reason why this rider is very important is that once you opt for it, you can ensure that the financial goals for which you purchase the life insurance policy, for example, a milestone in your child's education, that financial goal remains protected and that is not compromised due to this sudden mishap.
Okay.
Or your inability to pay future premiums. And of course, on all of these riders, while this is all the essence of the riders, it is necessary that you check for the specific terms and conditions and the specific coverages in any specific rider and the life insurance provider that you're opting for.
Great. So, this is so amazing, and it must be known by all the families and those who are earning members of the family. And does, I mean, it's a very different question, but very related when I'm talking about life insurance. But does we get the tax benefits on the riders also?
Yes, of course. Saving taxes is one of the additional benefits of adding riders to one's life insurance policy. The premium paid towards the critical illness or any other health related rider qualifies for tax benefits under Section 80D of the Income Tax Act, while the accident and disability benefit riders, which are more associated with life insurance, and the waiver of premium rider, they are all eligible for tax benefits under Section 80C, which also applies to your base life insurance plan.
Okay. Okay.
However, we need to note that the total rider premium for all riders added in a policy should not exceed 30% of the base plan's premium, because these are still deemed to be additional benefits over and above your core policy.
Okay. So understood. So the riders basically provide the benefit of customizing the coverage or life coverage as per every policyholder's budget or whoever wants to buy a life insurance policy. And it also helps to save the extra cost by buying the separate policies for different needs. So at single policy, we can get all these benefits. Thank you, Bhavna, for your time with us today. It was a great pleasure to hear all these things from you. I'm sure our listeners must have gained a lot of insights from your expertise.
Thank you, Ninad. It was a pleasure to discuss such a crucial protection product. So, just to summarize, riders can help you significantly enhance your coverage and at a reasonable cost, and protect against adverse events which cause a loss of income or create additional expenses for you or your family. And like you said, all under the same base policy. So without the hassle of having to manage an additional policy. I do hope I've helped you gain better understanding of the riders available in life insurance.
Yes, and thank you all to our listeners. You can find more such episodes on YouTube and on your favorite podcast apps. Keep listening.